Dumb as a shit fuck, you know, cringe tour, etc., etc.
I liked beer. I still like beer. But I did not drink beer to the point of blacking out.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
Kiss every guy, man and woman, man and woman. Look at that guy, how handsome he is. I'll kiss him.
Dumb as a shit.
I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa.
Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Can you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
What rules, you sons of bitches?
piece of the world is actually a small piece of the universe, right? Then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup from my family. They're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup from my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
Through the polls, Jack.
Is this thing? Hello? Testing. 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 This is the Max the Dog Show. This is the Max the Dog Show. Hi, Max. Hi, Max. Hi. Can you see this puppy? Look at him. Look at him. He is staring at me. Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic installation of the Goddamn, also known as the Above It All Show. This is the Above It All Show on YouTube.com for now, unless you're watching this like 16 years from now, like after I've had like a brutal, gruesome death, like I was murdered somewhere in like a hotel room, like my intestines were like fucking, you know, like pinned to the ceiling or whatever, and then people are like, I wonder who this is, and then they find this video somewhere. Anyway, so we got a show going on today. There's a program scheduled for today, and it's called the Max the Dog program. And I love this dog. He just stares at me. Oh, you papa. It's the Max the Dog Show. He is he's getting a little tired this morning. He was jumping around, and now all of a sudden he wants to take a nap, but he wants to stare at me too. He's probably thinking, what the hell? This bitch is talking to the television again? I'm living to 200? Yeah, but I mean, I could always get murdered. That's the only way I'm going to die is from murder. So, who knows? It's possible I'll get murdered. I don't know. But anyway, we got a show lined up for today. And today's the day that I do a show. This is the Above It All show, episode 1686. He's just, I'm gonna cry. I am really high this morning, so please bear with me. And I'm doing a show. I don't even know where to begin for this one. But I'm going to begin. Armed man wearing a clown wig said he wanted to kill all Democrats. All right. A Westmoreland County is facing several charges after police said he wanted to, quote, kill all Democrats. This is why they tell you never to say anything unless there's a lawyer present. You might accidentally say you want to kill all the Democrats. Jan Stawovi, 61, took a loaded gun into a Delmont, which I suppose is in Pennsylvania, as it says on the top left of the screen, which I'm pointing at with my finger, though I should be using the mouse, Dairy Queen, and police said the quick action of an officer saved lives. It was Saturday, September 10, Jesus Christ. That's not my dyslexia. That's this fucking author. Delmont police said Stawovi walked into a Dairy Queen on State Road Route 66 in a yellow safety vest and rainbow clown wig. Callers told police he had a gun. Within a minute, Officer Gregory Stull was there. Multiple people were inside the Dairy Queen at the time, and police say a group of people, including several with intellectual disabilities, were heading inside. Officer Stull found Stawovi and took him into custody. Police found a loaded .40 caliber handgun and ammo on him. Stawovi allegedly told police he was undercover and, quote, working to restore Trump to President King of the United States. I mean, this is the shit that sounds like a false flag. Like, it sounds like it. You really want to think there's no way someone dressed up in a clown suit and said President King. You know, there's no way. But then, wait, we take into account just how fucking stupid these Trump people are. And then it's like, no shit, this is real. Am I right? But like, holy shit. I mean, you want to. Like, there's like a natural inclination to think there's no way that they said President King. There's no way. But also, at the same time, look at January 6th. He said he was armed to, quote, kill Democrats and liberals and to protect himself from drug traffickers. So he's going to kill the Democrats, but not just the Democrats. You got to kill the liberals, too? What about leftists? What about independents? Do you ask for someone's name and address and then look up their voting information or their party registration on like the state website or something, like on your cell phone? Are you registered as a liberal? Wait, I mean, are you I'm just like how do you what? Like, or do you just shoot people based on, oh, they look like a liberal? In looking at Stawovi's Facebook page, he has a history of outbursts and threats. In the past 2 years, Stawovi has been asked to leave 2 different congregations in Westmoreland County leading up to Saturday's arrest. Both sent him letters to say he had outbursts and was threatening. The New Stanton Assembly of God asked him to leave their congregation in August of last year and not come back to their property. Their letter recommended he get some professional help. Then, just on Friday, he got a letter from Barron Run United Methodist Church in Smithton. Their letter says he showed up to the church in a clown costume and scared. So he just walks around in a clown costume. You know, let's go to church, get the clown costume on. Oh, let's go to Dairy Queen, let's put on the wig, let's dress up like a clown. What the fuck? He also had photos showing his support for the former president, and he even had a post saying, Civil War in 2024? Well, I mean, it rhymes, so you have to. What, are we going to wait until 2034? right? I mean, we got to get it over with. Civil War 24. I mean, come on. We're not waiting another 10 fucking years here. Come on. Stovovi is not in jail yet, but he is in custody. He is currently waiting for his preliminary arraignment, the quick actions of Osterfield, blah, blah, blah. And I think that that's hilarious. I think that this whole thing is hilarious. I mean, this could have been like a mass shooting event, right? Like if cops didn't respond that quickly, it could have been a mass shooting event. But, you know, I guess in this very limited instance, you know, cop on cop violence, you know, clown on clown violence. You know what? Every once in a while, it ends with minimal death and suffering. So there you go. This is how I feel about the Civil War they want. How does one want to have a civil war against the left? The left. I like big dicks and I cannot lie. Good username. Anyway, we got a show going on. Y'all. We have a show. So this is a couple days old, but I mean, honestly, I could be talking about this for several weeks because there is so much cringe coming out. But you may have realized or may have seen some information online if you're a frequent peruser of the online World Wide Web, the internet. You may have, you know, or you live in the country where this is a breaking news story. But there's been daily, nonstop in one of these countries. And no, we're not talking about the massive flooding in Pakistan. No, we're not talking about the massive spread of disease and, you know, polio outbreaks in the U.S. No, we're not, you know, we're not talking about, you know, anything that actually matters. Of course, we're talking about the Queen died. The Queen died in the United Kingdom. She died. And there's been daily breaking news updates about her death. So she died, breaking news. Okay, I understand. But then, okay, so then her body was slightly moved, breaking news. All right, so then she was put in a box, breaking news. And then the box was moved somewhere else, breaking news, and then etc. So anyway, people in the UK are mourning. They are in mourning. And I found what may be one of the most bizarre ways that United Kingdom residents have been mourning. And this may be a new daily segment, I'm not sure. But I'm catching up on the cringe. And check this one out. This is from metro.co.uk. We're not talking about the hit first-person shooter action-adventure video game series. We're talking about this. Morrison's turns volume of checkout beeps down as a mark of respect to Queen. And then this image is great, right? Like it's her, but with the hat like coming out of the box, which is like, that's a good little trick there. Smiling at the self-checkout. There's so much going on here. As the world mourns, the world mourns? The death of Britain's longest reigning monarch, people have been leaving flowers, cards, and marmalade sandwiches outside Buckingham Palace. Imagine, I need you to understand this, okay? Imagine you are a regular human being, right? You're not rich. Maybe you're even on the poorer side. The Queen dies, and your first idea is, I'm going to make some sandwiches and throw them on the sidewalk outside the palace. Does anyone actually think that the royal family is going to go out there and go like, oh shit, look at these sandwiches. Holy fuck. All right. Meanwhile, some sporting events, marathons, and carnivals have been canceled or postponed. Businesses have also paid tribute to the sovereign by turning their logos on social media black and issuing condolences to the royal family. But some of the changes made in the run-up to the funeral on Monday, September 19, have left shoppers with mixed feelings. Oh, God. A post on Reddit over the weekend said Morrison's had completely turned off the beep noise on its checkouts. Now, I just want to say this. If it is an option to turn that fucking annoying-ass beeping shit off, why can't that be the standard? Why the fuck do we have to deal with the beep, 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 beep? Like, and it's always, every time you're in anywhere, like in the grocery store, beep, 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 because everyone's using the machines at once. I didn't know it was an option to turn them off. Can we start a national or international campaign to turn that fucking shit the fuck off? Anyway, then here's, like, this is a creepy photo. Does anyone look at this and then think to themselves, oh, look at that little queen? Like, that's a creepy looking photo. That's like some, like, fucking shit you'd see in, like, a horror film. Like, some crazy-ass, old-ass bitch who's, like possessed by a demon or something's gonna smile at you with her. Why is her head at, like, a fucking 38-degree angle? What the fuck's going on here? Anyway. Quote, being unable to tell when you have scanned something at the self-service because Morrison's turned off the beep noise to pay respects, a viral post on subreddit r/British problem said. Quote, I was standing in the queue for the self-service in front of others for what felt like an eternity as everyone in front of me struggled. Quote, I did what all Brits do and patiently became impatient, wondering why everyone was struggling to scan. Quote, how hard could it be? I thought. It wasn't until it was my turn I found that they had turned off the beep, but the supermarket chain told metro.co.uk this was not true. So it's probably just like one store. It's probably not like the whole company-wide thing, but it was probably just like one store. But I mean, like, this is, you know, honestly, I might be able to milk a daily segment for a couple weeks, maybe even a couple months out of what's going on this week in the UK. If you have any updates on this kind of cringe, this brand of cringe, please let me know. Send it my way. And if you live in the UK, if you want to be an above-it-all investigative reporter, go out to the store and just see what the hell's going on. Take a couple pictures. But anyway, there's some crazy shit going on in the UK. These people, like, they put something in the water. I don't know what's going on, but there is some mass psychosis in this fucking country. Holy fucking moly. Motherfuckers turning the beeps off in respect. I just... Oh... Oh! I could listen to her read all day. Oh boy. There's a fucking trash truck outside. They're collecting my garbage. So, you know, just a moment of appreciation for the garbage collectors in our world, in our society, really, for collecting the garbage on this day. Without them, I don't know, we'd be fucked. That's all I can tell you. So, yeah, we got a show going on, I guess. I mean, I'm doing a show. I guess. I mean, I guess I'm doing a show. Governor Ron DeSantis is in the news again. He is, well, I mean, first of all, he's a pretty cringe guy. Like, he's, you know, he's not that bright. He's kind of a, you know, kind of a dumb bitch. A little bit. I don't want to be too offensive here at the jump, but kind of a dumb bitch. Anyway, so he's in the news again. Check this out. Governor Ron DeSantis claims credit for sending 2 planes carrying migrants to Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts. So there's this like really strange thing going on where, like, Republican governors are like spending millions and millions of dollars on like planes, buses, right, to move immigrants to other states that they consider blue states because they don't want the immigrants there, right? But okay, so the first point here is like, imagine if you spent the $10 million you spent on this whole publicity stunt on actually making sure the immigrants are okay, or just the poor people in general in your state are okay. You know? But apparently this is a video, so let's watch. Oh, I'm being added. I'm being added! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, I forgot to fucking autoplay this before the show. Fuck, I'm not gonna let you get added there. Normally I try to get all the ads out before the show, but I forgot to click on this one. All right. I don't know what the ad was for, and I muted it. So anyway, let's see what's going on.
Ron
here.
DeSantis confirms he sent 2 planes of migrants to Martha's Vineyard on Wednesday without notice, leaving Massachusetts officials scrambling to find them shelter.
We fed them and we've housed them for tonight. The focus tonight was just, how are we going to make sure these people aren't out on the street?
The Republican governors of Texas and Arizona have been busing thousands of migrants to Washington, D.C., New York City, and Chicago in recent weeks. CNN's Steve Contorno joins us live from Washington. This is an island. They certainly do have a tradition of a faith community that appears to really be stepping up, but this is an island that is not easy to get off of for these migrants.
Right, Brown, and this is something.
So, again, now, I know that they're doing this for a publicity stunt. Like, Abbott's been making a big deal. We're busing them to Chicago. And it's like, we live in this kind of, like, bizarro Twilight Zone ass shit, where it's like, these people, like, they're okay with spending, like, millions of dollars on publicity stunts, but when it comes to helping their own citizens, how are you going to pay for it? Oh, feeding the poor? How are you going to pay for it? Oh, sending a plane to an island somewhere? We can pay for that. That's fine. Oh, making sure food banks have food to give out to poor people? Oh, how are we going to pay for it? Health care for the elderly? How are we going to pay for it? What a shit fuck country.
Something Governor DeSantis has been threatening to do really for months now. He has said repeatedly that he is willing to use taxpayer dollars to send these migrants from the border to Democratic jurisdictions. He has said he would send them to President Biden's home state of Delaware, even if he could. But this is the first time that he has taken credit for participating directly in.
So again, like, this is like the thing, like, they think this is like a big own. You know, like, these motherfuckers, like, I'm not even joking. Like, Ron DeSantis and all these Republican freaks, they're like, got him! Like they just won the debate. Like, oh, you sent people to Massachusetts. You spent $10 million on transit to send people to Massachusetts. Owned. Like, what?
One of these operations, and including using taxpayer dollars to help facilitate it. And last night he confirmed his involvement, putting out a statement that said, quote, "States like Massachusetts, New York, and California will better facilitate the care of these individuals who they have invited into our country by incentivizing illegal immigration through their designation as sanctuary states and support for the Biden administration's open border policies."
So once again, open border. Can we define open border? Open border is, like, for example, if you're walking from North Carolina to South Carolina, that is an open border. You can just, if you're in North Carolina and you want to take a walk, you can walk to South Carolina. There's no checkpoints. There's no border patrol. That is an open border. Now, I would like you to try to walk from Texas to Mexico. If you did that, there would be border patrol agents on horses trying to kill you, right? if you did that, right, you might have to go through a checkpoint of some kind. You might have to provide some sort of papers, identity, right? That is not an open border. That is a closed, semi-open border, only if they approve of you going through that border. An open border, right, is somewhere where you can just walk through. Now, I know Republicans are not that great at definitions here, but the U.S. does not have open borders.
Now, the people who are in Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts had no idea that these individuals were arriving. They said that they basically set up shelters like they would if there was a nor'easter or a hurricane that had hit the area. So, and back home in Florida, immediately hit with condemnation from Democrats. The state party chair said that it was, quote, a new low for DeSantis. And we're not getting many answers.
So anyway, they're just kind of giving their shitty ass analysis. But anyway, like, I can't with these fucking Republicans, man. Like, they're just dumb as hell. Like, they're just dumb as hell. Millions and millions of dollars that they could be spending on literally anything else. How about clean water, for Christ's sake? My God. How about preparing for the next fucking hurricane that's going to hit Florida? Right? How about doing literally anything other than sending people away on a fucking, like, first class, all expenses paid fucking flight? It's just bizarre. These motherfuckers are bizarre. And again, like, it's a fantasy world, right? It's a fantasy world. That's what it is. It's a fantasy world. They live, it's called psychosis, right? It's where, like, imagine, right, if I have a cell phone in my hand, right? But in my own mind, the way I perceive it, I don't have a cell phone in my hand. I've got like a rotting salmon in my hand. And I actually think that there is a rotting salmon. Oh God, that's gross. That would be psychosis, right? These Republicans, they have psychosis. There is no open border. It's not real, right? But they pretend that it is real, and they act as if it is real, right? And they do that with all kinds of other stuff, right? Like, oh, the gays are grooming our kids. They just make it up. It's their fantasy. They have a medical condition, and they need help, right? But again, they think that, like, oh, owned. Like, this is like I don't even know how, like, I can't even make an analogy. It's just so cringy. So anyway, that's Ron DeSantis there. And again, imagine, not only, right, imagine you're as dumb as Ron DeSantis, okay? At least you're governor. Imagine you're a Ron DeSantis voter. Imagine that. You're a Ron DeSantis voter. And you read this in the news. And you're like, oh, that's why I vote for you. Get him, Ron. I'm just going to leave you with that idea. Anyway, Halloween's coming up, folks. Jesus. Holy Macintosh. Hello, Andrea. Andri66-Power. Hey, everyone. I am new to this channel. I hope y'all are good. Really great job with Doom speedruns. Really love that. Really insane. Means a lot. Thank you. I try my best. I haven't been streaming on Twitch recently over the last couple days, but I will absolutely. I'm planning on streaming today. So if you want to watch more Doom, I will be doing that today. I have a Max the dog update. He's still there. So Max. He's still there. He's taking a nap. He's a nap dog. I don't really know what else to say. I don't know if you can hear him snoring, but I can. And that's really all I need in my life. So anyway, let's turn our attention to Indiana. Indiana law banning most abortions takes effect. Now, once again, an abortion ban with any exemption, You need to understand what an exemption is, or an exception. An exception means what you are doing is illegal. It is illegal unless you can prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that you would have died or whatever. That is what an exception is, right? It reverses the innocent until proven guilty to guilty until proven innocent, right? So that is why these exceptions don't mean anything, because you will go to court. If you have an abortion in Indiana, or if you're a physician and you supply an abortion to somebody, you will go to court. It might take a year. It might take 2 years. It might take 3 years. You will be in court for a long time, and you have to prove that you are innocent because you are presumed guilty, right? And so again, how would you prove that? Can you bust out the many worlds machine and say, well, if we look at quantum mechanics, right, we can see that there is a branch off point here where I decide not to do the abortion. And in that world, right, you know, with our quantum many worlds machine, we can find out that this person would have died if the abortion was not. No, we don't live in that universe where we have access to that machine. And so what do? You just hope that the jury, right, has someone with an IQ above 6. And if not, boom, you're in jail. Right, so most physicians know this, and they're going to be scared to do anything, right? So an Indiana law banning abortion at all stages of pregnancy with limited exceptions is now in effect, making Indiana the latest state to enact restrictions on the procedure after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. The law was passed over the summer during a special session when Indiana became the first state to pass a restrictive abortion law after the court's decision. The law provides exceptions to save the woman's life, prevent any serious health risk to the woman, or for lethal fetal anomalies up to 20 weeks post-fertilization. The language with these post-fertilization is just... Anyway, but again, how do you prove that? Prevent serious health risk? What's a serious health risk? What is that? What's a serious health risk? Like, I don't know, what if you're gonna hemorrhage? And how much hemorrhaging, like, becomes serious? Like, what if it's mild hemorrhaging? What if there's, like, a cancer that's developing? What is a serious... How do you define that? Is serious health risk defined anywhere in this law? No. It's just, oh, well, maybe if it's a serious health risk. It's up to you to prove that in court. And again... Most physicians are going to look at that and they're going to go, I'm not getting anywhere near this. Under the law, abortion clinics are no longer state licensed facilities and cannot provide abortions. The law now requires that all abortions be performed in a licensed hospital or an ambulatory outpatient surgical center, majority owned by a licensed hospital. Abortion providers who violate the law are subject to a criminal penalty of 6 years in prison and $10,000 fine. Medication abortion is already prohibited in the state after 8 weeks of post-fertilization age. Again, post-fertilization, my God. Abortion providers and a nonprofit that operates a pregnancy resource center in the state filed a lawsuit last month. They argued that the law will infringe on Hoosier's right to privacy, blah, blah, blah. Again, they're basically just saying what I said. But this is the U.S. of A, folks. It's a great country. We have freedom in this country. Freedom and liberty. If you're a white, straight, cisgender man, you're free as fuck. If you're literally like 60 to 70% of everyone else, it's apartheid state for you. You have less rights. Chances are, statistically speaking, most people in my chat room are second, maybe third class citizens in this country. How does it feel being a second class citizen in the United States of America, the country that calls itself the land of the free? Right now, I'm like a fucking third class citizen. I am way down there. So think about this. At least you're not a third class citizen like me. So you got it lucky. You got it lucky over there, all you second class citizens. Damn, I wish I was a second class citizen. Fuck. But anyway, this country fucking sucks. It's a shitty fucking country. Oh. All right, y'all. I don't know. Does this count as news? I mean, I'm just going to be responding to an epic clip here that's extremely funny. But this clip went viral yesterday on Twitter, and I felt like I wanted to respond because it's just extremely funny. But there was a doofus. I don't know, like Matt Wash or something. Like he owns like a laundromat, I guess. I don't know. Talking about how there's a new Little Mermaid movie. And the character that plays the Little Mermaid or whatever, the actress, is a black woman, apparently. I haven't seen the material, so I don't really know. And Matt Washing Machine is going to tell us how a black mermaid is unscientific. A white mermaid, extremely normal. In fact, it's so scientific that they're everywhere. White mermaids. Black mermaids, he's not racist, by the way. Just to be very clear, he is not racist at all.
All right, Max Winter says, a black actor playing the Little Mermaid really is a case of white erasure. All forms of art, including fairy tales, are meant to be reflections of the author's experiences and observations. Hans Christian Andersen probably based the Little Mermaid based on experiences he went through in his home country of Denmark, so it makes sense that most of his characters would be white, since that's the world.
Also, who defines art as, like, where I'm from? I don't give a fuck. I could draw something from across the world if I wanted to. We have the internet. But anyway, like, what?
World and the people he was surrounded by. Yeah, I'm given the way that we deal with these sorts of issues, I'm sympathetic to that. Now, I would be fine, like we talked about yesterday.
I just want to say, issues. Like, this is an issue. This is a culturally significant event in human history. This is an issue. There's a black mermaid in a fucking, like, cartoon. Holy fuck.
Yesterday, we don't have to rehash the entire thing, but if we all agreed that race in films and TV shows, especially fictional stories, don't matter, and we're going to take a kind of colorblind casting approach, and it doesn't matter as long as the actor is good. If we could all agree on that, then I'd be on board. And as I said, that's basically what it was for many years, what it was back in the 90s. But what I cannot abide by is the double standard thing where we say, well, the casting in casting matters only for certain races and not for others. No, we're not doing that. Also, by the way, with The Little Mermaid, can we also just mention that just from a scientific perspective, okay, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have someone with darker skin who lives deep in the ocean. I mean, if anything, not only should the Little Mermaid be pale, she should actually be translucent. If you look at deep sea creatures, they're like translucent. They have no kind of pigmentation whatsoever. And they're just like these horrifying, they look like skeletons floating around in the ocean. That's what the Little Mermaid should look like. She should be totally pale and skeletal, where you can see her skull through her face. And that would actually be a version of Little Mermaid that I would watch.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
This motherfucker. This motherfucker. Now, I don't know how old Matthew Washing Machine is, but if anyone, like, people that are completely plugged out of this whole, of, like, online right-wing politics, right? People that have no, like, I wish I was them, right? But, we're not. But, like, could you imagine, like, talking to someone who's totally uninitiated? They know nothing about this. They don't ever use the internet. They never watch cable news, right? Their level of understanding of the right wing is as close to nothing as possible, right? Imagine trying to explain this clip to one of those people, right? Yeah, so there's a grown man who looks to be 30, maybe 40 years old. And he has a multi-million-dollar show contract where he goes on a show to discuss why black mermaids are unscientific and cries that a black actor was casted in a kid's cartoon. Imagine, like, just saying that out loud, like, to me is already ridiculous, and I'm very familiar with these kinds of people. Like, right? It's just, what? Like, it's a kid's cartoon. It's for kids. Like, I just, like, this idea of, like, people getting so triggered by race-swapping characters, to me, it's just fucking, it's insane. It's insane. It's just insane. I don't know. Like, there's, like, these people are sick. Like, they are physically ill. Like, anybody that would dedicate any amount of time to the science of whether or not black mermaids are real. I mean, like, these people, they need, like, I mean, like, again, I would, if you vote for me, I would provide straitjackets for every Republican, because that's what they need. These people are a threat to society. They hate black people so much that the idea of a black cartoon character to them is so deeply offensive that they will talk about it forever. These are dangerous motherfuckers. They are a threat to society itself as well as just the average person. I mean, my fucking God. Like, who cares? Like, you're telling me, like, how many versions of The Little Mermaid are there? Aren't there, like, fucking 20 versions of that shit? Like, go watch the fucking 19 fucking whatever version of Little Mermaid. Like, the idea, like, I can't. I mean, white people are so fucking stupid. White Christians are so fucking stupid that they cry about race swapping for Little Mermaid. Oh, it's unscientific. And yet, if you go to Matt Walsh's house, I guarantee you he's got a picture of a white Jesus in his house, because this guy is a devout Christian. He loves Christianity so much. I guarantee you, if you go to this guy's church, wherever he goes to worship, they got some white-ass Jesus motherfuckers up there on that wall. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. 1,000%. So when it comes to Jesus Christ, you know, supposedly the Lord and Savior, you're allowed to have an unscientific race swap. That's fine. But when it comes to a cartoon character, just can't do it. You just can't do it. Oh, skin color is different? Whoa, I'm deeply offended. And I love how this guy says, like, oh yeah, back in the 90s, we lived in a colorblind society? Oh, really? Like, that's the thing with these people, is they always want to, like, go, like, they want to invent the time machine and then go back, not back in time, right? But they don't want to build a time machine. They want to build, like, I'm bringing back the many worlds, right? They want to bring, like, a many worlds quantum mechanics machine to go to a different, like, parallel adjacent universe where those things that they pretend in their head might be true. Because in our version of the world, that's not true. The 90s, we didn't live in a colorblind society in the 1990s. Are you fucking joking? Is that a fucking joke? Lord have motherfucking mercy. But anyway, grown adult men whining about kids' cartoons. I mean, to me, it would be entertaining if these people weren't the dominant members of our society and they didn't have all the political and financial power in the world. It would be a little funny, but it's kind of scary when you really think about it. Like, these people hate black people so fucking much that they cry and whine about a cartoon character. Like, my God. My God. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Goddamn. Failed carpenter. I want to make a video about Jesus and title it Failed Carpenter. Jesus Christ. And I don't know what else, but that's gonna be like, I'm gonna make a whole video that starts with the idea that the title will have Failed Carpenter. Whoa! Alright, y'all. Fetterman and Oz agreed to October debate with unusual conditions. So this has been like a thing, like Dr. Oz has been saying, why won't you debate me? Why won't you debate me? We have Joe Biden to blame for this. Why won't you debate me? Right? Like, that's what he's been saying. And Fetterman's basically been saying, to my understanding, I will debate you, but I just had a stroke, so calm down, buddy. And my opinion is I think Democrats should debate, especially these MAGA Republicans, because they just sound so fucking stupid. I guess there were these clips of Lauren Boebert had a debate, and maybe I'll look into that tomorrow or something. But anyway, I just want to say I would cover this. I would do a live stream of this debate. So, assuming I wouldn't get a copyright strike, I don't know where it's going to be broadcast. But if someone wants to look into that for me, I would happily live stream a debate between Mehmet Oz and John Fetterman. Pennsylvania Lieutenant Governor Fetterman, the Democratic nominee for the Senate, said Wednesday he would participate in one debate with Republican Mehmet Oz, who had made the issue of his opponent's willingness to face him because Fetterman's who has made an issue of his opponent's willingness to face him because Fetterman continues to recover from a serious stroke. The face-to-face meeting is scheduled for October 25. I would absolutely cover this, 100% chance. Quote, we said from the start that we do a debate, which John reiterated very clearly again last week. Rebecca Katz, senior advisor to the Fetterman campaign, said in a statement, enough distractions, it's time to talk about issues. But the campaigns are already sparring over terms, which would come 2 weeks before the general election, for the debate, which would come 2 weeks before the general election. After Fetterman's campaign asked for certain conditions to accommodate his continued recovery, Oz has made Fetterman's willingness to debate a central attack over the last couple of weeks. Fetterman suffered a near-fatal stroke. Where do you know that? Fetterman spokesperson Joe Calvello said to facilitate a seamless conversation, Nexstar Television, which is hosting the debate in Harrisburg, has agreed to provide live, real-time closed captioning that will appear on the monitors visible to the candidates and throughout the duration of the debate. The Oz campaign responded later that Republican would agree to the debate, but asked for the specific condition, including that the debate moderator explain that Fetterman is using closed captions and to extend the debate from 60 to 90 minutes. A feature-length film of Oz versus Fetterman. A feature-length film, 90 minutes. Sign me the fuck up. Sign me the fuck up. Quote, Dr. Oz looks forward to being in Harrisburg on October 25. Anyway, Oz agreed to a 60-minute Nexstar debate. Then we agreed to a 60-minute Nexstar debate. Wait, what? Now suddenly 60 minutes isn't good enough? Oh, right. Okay, this is Fetterman's campaign saying. Let's be real. If we agreed to 10 debates, Oz would be demanding 20. He's going to keep trying to move the goalposts. I don't know. Like 90 minutes, I don't care. Like, my opinion, if I'm ever running for office, who knows, right? I want to do a 6-hour debate with my opponent. No moderator, no commercials. Fuck you. I mean, I don't know. What's the problem with that? Debates are fun. Like, in the political context, you know, when you have candidates yelling at each other, that shit's entertaining. But anyway, Fetterman's campaign spent most of the summer trolling Oz on social media over his celebrity wealth and longtime residency in New Jersey, trying to paint him as out of touch with Pennsylvanians. More recently, Oz has hit back, attacking Fetterman over not having committed until now to a debate, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, there was a poll done that said that Fetterman has 49% to 39% for Oz. There's new polls coming out every day. One of them had, Fetterman at, 56% and Oz at, fucking 31 or something. I don't know. That to me, that fits my bias so much, you know, that I don't know if that's true. But either way, it seems that Oz is going to get stomped. But anyway, if someone can get me the details on like the copyright stuff in regards to this debate, I will 1000% live stream it because that will be hilarious. So I'm just throwing that out there. But definitely looking forward to an Oz v. Fetterman debate because that's going to be hilarious. I don't know what else to tell you. It's going to be the funniest shit. There you go. Yeah, I remember when Democrats were supposed to have a 56-seat Senate. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for the news section of the program. That's all I got. I haven't looked into this railroad strike stuff quite yet, so if anyone has a primer, feel free to send it my way. Well, we're going to be getting into the movie portion of the program here. Movie review portion of the program. So, but anyway, how's everyone doing before that? How are the vibes? Let me get a vibe check. Hold up. All right, the vibes seem pretty good. Did I see Jank almost had a heart attack over defund the police? Yeah, we talked about that a little bit yesterday. But, yeah, like, Jank and Anna have, like, the worst possible take on that. Like, even imaginable. I mean, like, and that's the thing, it's so weird to me. Right? Like, because, like, on policy, they probably agree with everything on the policy. Jank is not right in any capacity. He's a fool, and so are you if you think he's right. Like, the policy, they probably agree with most, if not all, of what abolitionists and defund the police people think. It's just that they're so, like, wedded to this, like, idea that, like, we have to tailor all of our messages to what reactionary right-wingers think. Right, like it's like a mind virus, right? It's like a disease, right? It's like a cancer that eats away at your brain and how you like go into politics, right? Like there's like a default conservative reactionary, and they feel like all of their political messaging needs to like cater to them in some way. And like, it's strange. It really is fucking strange. Like, it's strange stuff. Defund the police is pretty fucking clear. If you don't understand defund the police, either you have a low IQ or you are not willing to understand it. You refuse to listen to someone explaining it to you, because I refuse to believe, right, that there is a single person that both cares about the slogan defund the police and hasn't been informed as to what that means, right? So anyone still whinging about this is like they're just locked in like an internal reactionary conservative cycle that's taken some, like, you know, it's like a war in their brain, right? And the reactionary conservatives have like taken a key city in their brain and they just won't let it go. Like, they created a stronghold there, and it's strange fucking stuff. It really is bizarre, right? Like, I don't know how you can simultaneously say police brutality is a problem and defund the police is a bad slogan. You can't. You have to have some hypocrisy in some way, right? And so anyone that like that cares about defund the police and hasn't been educated on what it means, I don't think that that person exists, really. I really don't. And the Young Turks, like, their job is not to cry and whine and yell at activists. That's not their job. Their job, right, is to move people to the left in the grand scheme of things. That is their job. Their job is to be left-wing commentators to provide a balance in our extremely hyper right-wing world. That is their job, to be a left-winger. Like, again, my job is not to yell at activists. Oh, how dare an activist say this thing that I slightly disagree with the phrasing on? That's not my job. That's not what I'm here for, right? So the reason why they're crying about defund and abolition is it's a branding exercise. They want to, like, put room in between them and activists. They don't want to be perceived as being activists. They don't want to be perceived as supporting activists. And that's why they do that. Like, there's, like, if you ask either of them about the actual policy, they probably agree with, like, 80 to 90% of the actual policy platforms of defund and police or prison abolitionism, right? But they don't want to be perceived as activists. Defund and abolition movements are a huge help to the right wing. No, Saul, you're a fucking moron. This, again, that is like, you are captured by the right wing ideology. Like, you might style yourself as a liberal or whatever, but you have to understand, right-wingers lie about everything all the time. Right-wingers called Joe Biden a communist. Joe Biden is a communist and a fascist at the same time in the right-wing mind. The idea that you would care at all, oh, what if we do something that helps the right? The right's going to make shit up. If you don't help the right, they're just going to make shit up. So this idea that we need to all cater all of our political branding and messaging to like a 15 to 20% minority of fascists in the country, no, I'm sorry. You're old. You're dumb. Your way of thinking is wrong, and it's been over. It's over. The 1980s called. They want their both sides back. The 1990s called. They want third way back. The 2000s called. They want unity back. Those are failed fucking strategies. Failed fucking strategies. The idea that we're gonna win Republicans on logic is a failed fucking strategy. I don't know how many times old boomer liberals need to try the same fucking thing over and over and over and over again. Republicans are not logical people. They are not. They do not like participate in a fair debate. So, and also police, defunding the police and abolishing prisons is the morally, factually, and politically, it's correct in every angle. It is the correct position morally, ethically. Like, if you want to talk about raw numbers, budget-wise, it is the more correct reason for the budget. Every single possible aspect other than, oh, what's my right-wing uncle gonna think? Every other aspect, it is the correct position. Right? But again, you cannot sit here and tell me that Republicans, oh, we just slightly tailor our message a little bit better, Republicans are on board? Because if so, I'm waiting. The boomer libs, Saul, your generation, you had your chance to get Republicans on your side through facts and logic. It didn't fucking work. It didn't work. I'm sorry. You failed. Your brand of politics has failed utterly and completely. So I'm not trying to be like too rude to a single person here. And, you know, I say this because I want to push people to my position. I'm not trying to cancel anybody. But, like, you know, I still appreciate Cenk and Anna on many other levels. They're just really wrong on this. You cannot. And then Cenk is also, the thing about Cenk that's super weird is because he styles himself as well of attacking Republican voters and saying there's no way you can appease them in one breath. And then the next breath, he's like, oh, we can't say defund because the right wing won't be appeased. It's like, what? What? You know what I mean? Like, what? Like, I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck what Republicans say. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Republicans and what they think of my political agenda are irrelevant. Irrelevant. That's it. 0%. Not 1%, not 2, not 3. Right? They're 0% part of my political calculations. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what Republicans think at all. And the job of the so-called biggest left-wing news show should not be to, you know, attack activists and their wording. It should be to move liberals to the left and create a unified front of left-wing and liberal ideologies. Anybody that doesn't agree with the policy agenda of defund and police and prison abolition, they are just a bad person. Like, you can't tell me that the way our prison system works is okay unless you're just a bad person. You can't tell me that policing in this country is okay unless you're a bad person. Abolishing prisons is not an idiotic idea. Prisons do not work. They don't fucking work. Having prisons, especially privately owned prisons, is a bad fucking idea. That's idiotic. Prisons do not work. How can you say that the country that has 20 to 30% of the world's incarcerated population, right, while also maintaining that there's a crime wave? There's a crime wave. Prisons don't fucking work. They don't fucking work. It is a failed system. It failed decades ago, centuries ago. It doesn't fucking work. Now, if you think prison abolition means that we're going to let freaks and serial killers run around in society, then you're a fucking moron. You are a dumb motherfucker. Right? A prison, right, is a failed system. Now, that doesn't mean you can have other ways of ridding people out of society in some way or another. But the way that prisons function utterly and 100% have failed. It has resulted in an increase of crime, inside and outside of the prison. So in society, crime is increased, and in prison, crime is increased, right? So I don't know what to tell you. It's a failed fucking system. It's a failed fucking system. Yeah, Norway's not perfect. We don't live in a binary world. We don't live in a binary fucking world where either you have lockdown fucking US prisons where you can rape anyone you want and murder people in prison with impunity, right? And then learn how to become a master gangster and then escape prison and then become a massive criminal in the real world versus a utopia. We haven't arrived at utopia. Saul, I know you are smarter than this. But you sound like a fucking Trumper right now. You and the average Trump supporter sound identical. Nobody said to let everybody out. 0% of human beings on Earth have ever said that. Okay? Abolition means to abolish prisons. It doesn't mean to abolish all forms of societal control. If you think prisons and social safety are required to be involved with each other, I don't know if you know what a prison is. You keep telling me what the word abolish means. Do you know what the word prison is? What is the definition of prison? Okay? Looking it up on Google, a building in which people are legally held as punishment for a crime they have committed. Punishment for a crime. That is a prison. Punishment for a crime. It doesn't work. Punishing people for a crime does not fucking work. Beating your child when they disobey does not fucking work. Spanking your child when they disobey does not fucking work. Throwing people in jail to become victims of more crime, rape, and violence doesn't fucking work. It is a wrong and failed strategy, and we have, I don't know, do you know anyone that's ever been to prison? Seriously, do you know anybody that's ever been to prison? Nobody goes to prison and comes out a normal, rational person, that's a normal, stable member of society. Some people come out of prison and they gain something out of it or whatever. Most people come out of prison, they met a bunch of criminals, they joined a white supremacist gang or some other gang, right, for protection in prison because for whatever reason, prison security guards don't offer protection, right? So because crime is legal in prison, you need to join a gang in order to gain protection in prison. And then after you're out of prison, you will often be linked to that gang forever, right? Crime rates increase, right? How does someone go to prison, come out, go commit another crime, go back to prison, come out, go commit another crime? Because prison doesn't fucking work. The death penalty doesn't fucking work. It is an uncivilized, savage concept. I know, it feels good in your lizard brain to beat the shit out of your kid who won't eat their vegetables. I know it feels good in your lizard brain to throw someone in an electric chair and murder them because they like beat the shit out of your kids or whatever. I know it feels good in the lizard brain. We are human beings. We have evolved. We have a society. Prison is a failed strategy. If you agree that hitting a kid doesn't work, then you should agree that punishment when it comes to prison doesn't work, because it's the same logic. If you're opposed to the death penalty, you should be opposed to prisons. It's the same logic. The whole point of a prison should be a 2-point system. 1, rehabilitation, and 2, keeping the rest of people in society safe. Prisons do neither of those things, because the way we were working in this country right now, crime goes up outside the prison, crime goes up inside the prison, people come out of prison as hardened criminals. It doesn't work. It doesn't fucking work. So I need you to kill the conservative in your head, because this shit is embarrassing. I don't know what Republican family member made you this way, but they have done some serious damage to your psyche. And the same goes for Cenk and Anna on their stupid fucking cringe campaign. Like, you sound like fucking Joe Biden's crime bill ass shit right now. Oh, the super predators need to be going off the streets. Didn't we try that 30 fucking years ago? Didn't we did this big crime bill in this country 30 fucking years ago? And yet, it's worse? Huh. It's almost like the system doesn't fucking work. I don't give a fuck what your stupid reactionary dumb fuck uncle thinks. They're my political enemy. I don't know what to say. And I don't give a fuck what normies think. My job is to convince normies by facts and logic to be more empathetic, sympathetic, and rational. That's my job. My job is not to look at people to the left of me, which there aren't any, because I'm magnetically attracted to the left, and yell at people on my own side. That's not my fucking job. My job is to bring as many people as possible to the left, not to build up a wall around the left and say you cannot pass this wall. That's not my job. Crime has gone up because of prisons. People go to prison as maybe soft criminals. They come out as hardened gangsters. I don't know what to fucking tell you. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It's a failed system, and if you support a failed system... And again, not only that. Oh, I'm comparing you to Ben Burgess, because Ben Burgess said the same thing you just said, Saul. So that's two times in 1 week that you've Ben Burgessed in my chat. But, again, like, punishment doesn't work. Punishment does not work. I was beaten as a kid, and guess what? It didn't fucking work. It just made me hate my parents, specifically my mom, right? And it made me, like, have copious amounts of mental health issues, right? I know a lot of people that have been beaten as kids. Doesn't make them any better. Right? So, I don't know, man. Now, again, prison abolition is not let people kill people for fun in the street. That's not what that means. And if you think that's what it means, you're purposefully misunderstanding it because there's some, like, disease in your brain or something that's, like, preventing you from using your logical, rational, like, cognitive portion of your brain. Like, there's some reactionary that's, like, planted a flag, like the fucking American flag on the moon or something. Ben Bourgeois. Oh, God. But yeah, punishment doesn't work. Rehabilitation. Now, there are some people, yes, that can't be rehabilitated. That doesn't mean they should be tortured and flayed, and fucking, thrown into chains. Throw them in a room somewhere. Give them a couple books, give them a PlayStation, and get them the fuck out of my society. That's fine. But guess what? The population of human beings that are truly impossible to rehabilitate, in my opinion, is disastrously low. I don't know why disastrously was the adjective I chose, but it is an extremely low percentage of the population that is just 1,000% beyond any help whatsoever. Anyway, so with that being said, feel free to clip that if you want, but post that shit on Twitter. Anyway, let's talk about fucking movies. Let's talk about fucking movies, for Christ's sake. I'm trying to do a movie review here. God, you little fuckers. I don't know. Someone give me the timestamps and I'll make a clip out of it, but I'm lazy. I'm a lazy fuck. But anyway. I'm going to talk about movies, so shut the fuck up and don't trigger me now. So yesterday I watched a motion picture. I watched a film, and it was called The Aviator, a Scorsese film about the very interesting character Howard Hughes, which I did not know too much about. All I knew about him was that he had a bizarre ass fucking final couple years. That's all I know. And to me, that's super interesting. So I watched the movie. It's about 3 hours. So it's a very long movie. This is one of those movies that it's 3 hours, and yet I feel like it could have lasted another 3 hours because there's just so much. There's so much story. And they skip ahead a lot. And I'm like, I don't want you to skip ahead. I want to watch every little bit. So, the movie is, it's about Howard Hughes, who's like, an early, director of film in the late 1920s, early 1930s, like a child basically that inherits a giant fortune and they just like blow it all on making cool movies and cool airplanes, right? And so like this guy is basically extremely mentally ill. Now it's historically written that he had like severe OCD, but like, again, people in the 1950s and 60s didn't really know what mental health issues were. I would say there's a lot more than OCD at play here. Probably a little bit of the autism, a little bit of the ADHD, a little bit of the, this and that and the other thing, right? I don't think OCD is the only thing at play here. But anyway, the movie basically follows him as like, some eccentric young guy. He suffers from a lot of plane crashes, right? Because he loves flying planes. That's his two hobbies, is making movies and flying planes. That's what he loves. Everything else doesn't matter. Sell the company, mortgage the company, fuck out everyone else. I just want to fly my planes and go vroom, and I want to make a movie. And I respect that. I gotta say, I respect that. But anyway, so he crashes planes a couple times, and basically every time he crashes his planes and suffers like brain trauma, right? Like he goes deaf, right? And he just gets more and more mentally unwell. And so now I don't know too much about the historical accuracy of this film. I'm not going to lie. But basically he gets involved in some giant business war that results in him getting subpoenaed by a Senate committee and publicly embarrassed quite significantly. And but he tries to fight back, and it's a good scene when he's in that Senate committee and he is just blowing them up with facts and logic and everyone's cheering him on. Now again, I don't know the historical accuracy of this film. Maybe I should look into it a little bit more, but as of this moment, I do not know the historical accuracy of the film, so I'm just doing a movie review. I'm not sure whether or not the events are 1-to-1 or even 1-to-2 with reality at all. But yeah, basically, this guy went a little nutso from having a lot of latent mental issues, as well as crashing planes a lot, and that kind of fucks your shit up when you're getting whiplash over and over and your brain's fucking right, in your head. It kind of fucks you up. And he became a little bit of a recluse. I love the scenes where it shows him in his movie theater with the piss bottles and, like, the strings everywhere. And he's got, like, the long-ass hair and he's looking skinny as fuck. I mean, I just gotta say, Leo DiCaprio, one of my favorite actors. He's really good. But he plays the role of Howard Hughes really excellently. Because, and I also think that the directing of, like, how it shows his, mental health struggles is also really good. Like, one of my favorite scenes is earlier in the film when he's eating at a restaurant and someone, like, reaches over and picks up a pea with their hands off of his plate, right? And then he's just staring at the food, right? And you see his face, like, he's trying to, like, how can I eat this? How can I eat this? I can't do it. Another great scene is when he's in the bathroom and he washes his hands so fucking roughly that he cuts himself with his fingernail, right? And then he uses up all the towels in the bathroom to, like, wash up the blood. And then, like, he's staring at the doorknob of the bathroom door and he can't open it. Why? Because he just washed his hands and he's got a wound. He can't open that door. So then, like, it's just like, how do I do this? There's no more towels. Do I go in the garden? Like, and the way that the camera is, like, it's just brilliant. And then he just waits for someone to open the door and he sneaks out. It's just great. I mean, the way that this film portrayed his mental health issues. One of my favorite scenes as well, I have a lot of favorite scenes in this movie, that's super relatable is when he's at the dinner table with Katharine Hepburn, who's the girlfriend at the time. And, like, the whole family is just, like, incessantly whining about a bunch of stupid shit, you know? Like, I feel this. Whenever I'm at, like, a big social gathering and there's so many people talking, I am so uncomfortable. I just want to leave. I just don't want to be here. And then one of my favorite parts of that scene is when, like, one of them turns to Howard and is like, so what do you do with the airplanes? And then all of a sudden, like, you see Howard's face, like, bright up. Right? And he's like so happy. He's like, oh fuck, I get to talk about my airplanes. And then he, like, starts playing with his food to create, like, a diagram. And then someone cuts him off because, like, they just didn't care and they wanted to engage in a different topic. And then, like, you see, like, his face, like, he's waiting. Like, am I gonna finish what I'm talking about? Am I going to finish what I'm talking about? And then he realizes that no, his moment is over. They didn't care about the airplanes. He was tricked. He was deceived. And then he has a meltdown and then leaves the table. I got to say, that scene, as someone who is, very autistic in that scenario, and I hate that scenario. Whenever I'm at, like, family reunions, whenever I'm at, like, any social gathering with a lot of people, right? If I get to talk about something I like, I'm super into it, but I hate being cut off, right? And it makes me so fucking mad and it makes me depressed, right? And so I love that scene. I thought it was perfect. As far as, like, my personal experience with that kind of mental stuff, I thought that was perfect. But there's so many scenes in this movie that are just, like, it's just so good. It's so, like, and again, it's a 3-hour movie, and yet you wish it was 6 hours. Like, I wish that there was the Aviator, like, quadrilogy, you know? Like, that motherfucking shit is just, and so it's just an amazing movie. I really enjoyed it. So I don't know the historical accuracy. I couldn't tell you that. But as far as the enjoyment factor, as far as how, like, mental illness is portrayed in this movie, I think it's really good. And, yeah, it's just a great movie. I don't know. Go watch it. The Aviator? It's a good movie. I don't know. The planes go in the sky, and then I love the scene where he flies the fucking plane up the water, like the big ass plane, and then proves everyone wrong. It's just a good movie. Anyway, he's still a billionaire though, so fuck him. But anyway, that's the show for today. Now that I've completely bullied Saul out of the chat room permanently, and created some form of post-traumatic stress disorder that will probably manifest in Saul for the rest of their life, as well as others, hopefully. The show is now over, and so I will be doing a Twitch stream today. I know I haven't for the last few days, but don't worry about that. So if you want to follow me there, I will be streaming some Doom later, so tune in, and it'll be pretty cool. There you go. Also, it should be noted that I haven't received a super chat or a channel membership throughout this entire stream. A little bit of it's something to notice. I mean, for sure, it's definitely, it's noticeable that people aren't, throwing tips at me. Like, what am I'm posting these banger content? I'm like, smart as a motherfucker, and yet I'm not being paid every single moment of the stream. I don't know. It's a little problematic, slightly. If you want to talk about what's more problematic, the phrase prison abolition or the fact that I haven't been given any money throughout this whole stream, I mean, one is a little bit more problematic than the other one. But of course, anyway, thank you all for watching, and I do appreciate it. And I will see you again tomorrow. If you only watch the Above It All show, if you watch the Twitch streams, I will see you later today. I'm going to eat first. Brooke Holloway, $4.99. It's a banger. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is, in fact, a banger. Andrew Kohler, $5. Okay, fine. Winking face with a tongue sticking out. Holy moly. All I gotta do is beg. All I gotta do is beg for change. All I gotta do is beg for change. I mean, also, imagine this. Imagine not giving this dog money. Max, do you want money? Max, do you want money? Look at him. He's depressed. He's depressed from the lack of dollar bills. Max! Max, what the heck? This goddamn animal. Anyway, thank you all. I will see y'all later. Oh, bye.
Dumb as a shit fuck, cringe tour, etc., etc.
$7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico. They're coming all over the place. They're coming all over the place. 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 Coming all over the place.
Get your words straight, Jack.
I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa.
Force the vote. Sure, it was a failure.
$7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
And where it should have stopped is at the deal standpoint when they thought about it.
On political corruption, we are going to restore honor to our government. In my administration, I'm going to enforce all laws concerning the protection of classified information. No one will be above the law.